name is Jean Shiver.
What's your middle name?
I was born Jean Goddard.
What's your middle name?
It's Jean. But my first name, I was told, all my life, was Norma.
I know.
And I went through grammar school thinking my name was Norma. And I found out one day that my name wasn't Norma. That I was just plain old Jean Goddard.
So you didn't have a middle name?
No. No.
Just like my mom.
That's right.
I don't think I'm going to give my kids a middle name.
I
Either.
think it'd be fine.
Because then I would give her your middle name and my mom's middle name, which is nothing. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Well, I just think I would think about it. What are you going to name your firstborn daughter?
I don't know yet. I have a list of names, but I'm not sure yet.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't decided. I feel like once I'm pregnant, I'll know.
Ah, okay. That's
So
good.
where were you born?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Do you know what hospital you were born at?
I was not born in a hospital.
You weren't?
No!
I didn't know that.
Mm-mm. I was born at home.
Do you remember? What was it like being born?
Well, it was snowing.
Really?
It was a snow blizzard.
Wow.
So,
Was that the plan?
no, I don't think it. I don't think I was planned.
But
I
was she planning on having a
it just
home birth?
happened.
Did your dad have to do it? Did he have to help with the birth, or did they have somebody come in and help?
Well, I never did answer those questions.
You don't know.
I didn't ask them,
That's
so I didn't have to answer. I don't know what happened.
I'm curious.
Nobody ever told me.
Now you're wondering, aren't you?
Now who do I ask? Everybody that knew me, I think, has passed on.
When you were a baby?
Mm-hmm.
Except for your siblings. I wonder if Peggy would know.
Oh, heavens no, she's younger than I am.
Vera was older.
Yeah.
Was there anyone else who was older?
Marie, but let's see, she is 7 years older than me.
Okay. So what are the names of all of your sisters? Oh, wait. What are the names of your parents?
Evelyn, Dilworth,
Mm-hmm.
Goddard, and then, well, we called him Alec, but he was Robert A. Goddard. So.
And you called him what?
Alec.
Alec?
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. You didn't call him Alec, though,
No.
did you?
Well, I called him a lot of different things.
What did you call him?
I always had pet names for him, and I could get by with just anything I wanted to call him.
I love it.
I know.
Were you and your dad close?
Pretty much so, yeah. Yeah. He was a good dad. Mother was just a stay-at-home mom, and she didn't drive. So if there's anything that had to be done for me outside the home and everything, then Daddy did it. He went to all the high school football games and everything with me.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what he wanted? Did he like that, or did he get frustrated?
I don't think so. I think he liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what are the names of your sisters? And
Well, my first sister, my oldest sister, was Vera,
mm-hmm.
Vera Elizabeth, and and then my sister, just older than me, which is 7 years older than me, is Marie. Martha Marie is her name.
So
Then,
she did get a first and a middle name.
and yeah, they got first, and then there's me, But then my youngest sister's name, Peggy Ann. So that was it. No brothers.
No brothers. Did you want a brother?
Yeah.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
So was Peggy an accident too? Or did they want
I
another
think they
one?
were. I don't think they planned. Mother said that she never laid down and said she was going to get pregnant.
That's hilarious.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
She said we were all mistakes.
You were all mistakes.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
When you go through life being a mistake.
But I wouldn't say that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I didn't realize until recently is that abortion wasn't legal until, I don't know, like 40 years ago or something?
I don't know.
40 something years ago?
Even when I was in high school,
All that was illegal.
no, it wasn't legal then. You had to go undercover.
Yeah.
And it was real dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So, girls my age weren't as sexually active as teenagers.
Or did they?
Because they knew if they got pregnant, they were going to have that baby and be kicked out of school. And
Were they kicked out of school?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to go to school when they were pregnant.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's crazy. That's so weird. I wonder why.
Well, things were so different back then. I don't know. Probably a lot of the things that we, do today wasn't thought through back then.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what it's going to be like, 60 years from now. That, like, people are going to think back to, like, today's time. And they're going to think, what were we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Why were we doing things that way now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so does your name have a special meaning? Or did they choose it for any particular reason?
I was named after someone that Mother and Daddy knew. I think they were in the insurance business, and Mother really admired this woman, and her name was Jean, and so that's the reason she named me Jean.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have any nicknames?
Well, my daddy called me Jeannie Gal. So I was always Jeannie Gal. And I guess that's all.
Well, you already told me that. So can you tell me anything else about your parents?
Well, my dad was hard working. He had a real hard time making us a living. And of course I was born on the skirts of, the after skirts of the Depression.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were very poor, but we had plenty to eat. And we had each other. We all loved each other as family,
Mm-hmm.
But he had a hard time finding work and working. And he was self-educated. So he didn't want to do hard labor or anything, but he would have to be sure
If he needed to.
For us to be fed.
Mm-hmm.
But and then Mother was always a stay-at-home mother, and she cooked and baked and did everything, washed and ironed and.
Would he go grocery shopping for her?
Mm-hmm. Yep. He did the grocery shopping, and then when my older sisters were old enough and they could drive,
Mm-hmm.
They did a lot of that.
They would go grocery shopping
Mm-hmm.
and do all like the chore type stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did your dad do? Or did he have different jobs?
He was into landscaping. He did a lot of construction work, remodeling and things. He did real good with that.
And you said he was like silly too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was very, very outgoing. And he
Really?
And just about anything he set his mind to, he could do it. And so, but then in later years, he became a salesperson.
Hmm.
So he was into insurance and stocks, selling stock and stuff like that.
That's so cool. And that's what Paw got into sales too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he made most of his money, right?
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. But also, your great-granddaddy helped start a furniture factory in Dublin.
Wow.
And now I think that furniture factory was bought by Bassett.
Oh, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But he
a big
really
company.
got it off the
Ground.
and I think they did real good with it. And as they started building and everything, he's sold his shares of stock
Mm-hmm.
and moved on and wanted to start another
Business.
in Mississippi. Well, that didn't go too good. So, anyway, but he was happy as long as he was doing something like that.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you and your siblings do for fun when you were growing up?
Well, since there was so much difference in our ages, my older sisters, what?
I was just going to move this. Is this connected? I'm just going to move this on. Okay. It was just tick-tocking. Kind of.
But I don't know that Vera really ever had a childhood. She was always big sister,
Mm-hmm.
and Mother and Daddy depended on her for a lot. And but she married very, very young, and then Marie was always into basketball and doing her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
She did what she wanted to.
She did what she wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So she got the easier life.
But one of my happy childhood memories of my sister Vera
Mm-hmm.
was she taught me to ride a bicycle.
Really?
And we had a little old rusty looking bicycle that she taught me on. And she did a lot of things with me. It's almost like she was a second mother.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she disciplined me, but Mother didn't. Because she
Really?
didn't.
How would she discipline you?
Well, different things. She wouldn't let me drink out of the water jug out of the refrigerator. I didn't want to wait and get a glass, so I just turned the bottle up and drink it, and she would get really mad at me.
Oh no.
And take the bottle away from me and wouldn't let me finish drinking and pour it down the drain. And I said, "Oh, I wanted that water." So, but Marie was always a good big sister. She shared her clothes with me when I was a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
sweaters and things like that, scarves. And I have happy memories with her.
Mm-hmm.
But when they started, I was still so young when they started having their babies that I loved that.
You love that?
Uh-huh. Because, I just love those babies and love taking care of them.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got on into teenage years, and I was still a teenager when I got married,
Mm-hmm.
and that was hard. I put
Sure.
it was a lot of strain on me and your granddaddy,
Mm-hmm.
marrying that young, but we couldn't wait. We thought we had to get married right now,
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could tell us anything.
Were you guys trying to have a baby?
Mm-mm.
You weren't?
Mm-mm. No. We just wanted to get married.
How
Yeah.
long did you guys, was it after you guys were married that you had Dub?
Well, we had,
Or Deborah?
we were married in 52, and she was born in late 53.
So not too long.
No.
And you guys where'd you guys move into first? Well, first of all, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Okay. Can you describe the kind of home that you grew up in?
Um, hmm. Well, yeah, it was just a regular family home, you know. Everybody taking care of each other.
Mhm.
Like I said, we
What
had
did it look like? Was it like one story, like a
uh,
ranch style?
Yeah. When I started to first grade in Spring Hill, Tennessee,
Mhm.
and we lived in a two-story house, an apartment in that house, and so then we moved on to Nashville, Tennessee, back to Nashville. Hey,
Trudy,
what's she barking at? She barking at Stephen?
is she barking at you, babe?
No, she was just laying with him and she just got up and started barking.
Zeus does that sometimes too. He just starts barking at nothing.
So anyway, we moved back to Nashville, and I guess I started second grade in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a neat house. It was one story, and I remember it being real bright and sunny, and just loved the neighborhood. That's where we played hide and seek, we skated, and we played softball in the street. And then I had a playmate. We played paper dolls, and just good old-fashioned fun. We didn't have television or anything. We did all our playing outside.
I kind of wish it was more like that today. You
It
know?
was I have really, really good memories of that.
Do you remember what your playmate's name was?
Jane.
Jane?
Uh-huh.
What'd she look like?
She was, we looked a lot alike. I had real curly hair, but her hair was real straight.
Mm-hmm.
And we were both blondes. And she was real cute.
Were y'all in class together?
I think she may have been a year older than me.
But you guys live close by?
Mm-hmm. She lived right across the street from me.
That's
So
awesome.
we played together a lot.
So that was a good time.
Uh-huh.
In your life. So you guys lived there from when you were in second grade until... Did you guys live there all the way up until high school when you guys moved?
No.
Or did you guys move again?
I think we moved when I was in the 6th grade. Yeah, the 5th or 6th grade.
So what did you want to be when you grew up? You said you wanted...
Well, I always wanted to teach the first grade, but my first love was get married and have babies.
So when you... Okay, so hold on. What day did you get married?
It was on a Saturday, November the 1st, 1952. 1952.
Do you remember when he proposed? Or when you guys started talking about it?
We just started talking about it. And we thought we should just go on and get married.
Who initiated it? Were you the one who initiated it, or was it Paul?
I might be.
Because Paul, when he was growing up, he was kind of a bad boy, wasn't he?
I guess so. He had to work and take care of his family. He had brothers, and his dad was killed by lightning when my daddy was just a little boy. So they had to, he and his brothers had to take over the care of his mother and make a living for him. And back then there was just not too many ways to make a living.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Paul's dad died by lightning? Or
My grandfather.
died by lightning?
Mm-hmm. He was struck by lightning. They were working in the forest, cutting down trees and things like that.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the storm came up and the lightning struck him.
Wow. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. But he later on became a sharecropper
Mm-hmm.
and made a living that way. That's where he was working on the plantation that my mother's dad owned. So he was basically a sharecropper for my grandfather's plantation.
And that was really, like, you did not make a lot of money doing that either.
No.
I know, when I was reading about sharecroppers and just learning about how a lot of times people ended up in more debt than they even made money.
Mm-hmm.
So then they ended up being, indebted to the people who owned the farm. Because that's what a lot of the slaves did after they became free, is they went from being a slave to being a sharecropper.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just didn't. Sometimes they would, but it was rare that someone would come and make a lot of money by doing it. But sometimes that's the only choice that they had, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where you could, do labor work.
Yeah,
So,
and you only got a portion of what you worked for.
yeah. Well, because, they would give you the tools and the land, but
the
you would
land.
only get, a part of what you cropped. And
Well,
depending on what that was, if you needed that for your family,
Yeah, back then you did what you had to do.
yeah. We're kind of spoiled now.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, very.
Kinda spoiled.
What'd you say?
I was like, kinda spoiled.
Kinda. Oh, you're definitely spoiled.
Okay. Clean spoiled.
So, what schools did you attend through?
Let's see. My first grade, I was in Spring Hill,
Mm-hmm.
and then second grade I was at Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey to my fifth grade, and I was in Richland. And from Richland, I went to high school at Bellevue.
And then you moved
To Dublin.
to Dublin.
And I met your granddaddy.
So can you tell me the story
Well,
about how y'all met again?
yeah,
I love that story.
we moved down there, and I was a teenager and a small town, and I was like the new girl in town, And he started. We'd see him at the soda shop, and so I think he really had eyes for my sister Peggy.
No,
Yes,
he didn't.
but that didn't last long.
Did they go out?
No. Mm-mm.
I can't believe that. I never knew that before.
I think when he found out that she wasn't in high school yet, so then he figured it all out. I was more his age, and so with a little flirting and all that manipulating, But he also then he really followed me everywhere I went, and we really became an item.
Well, tell me about, so you guys actually met at the soda shop, right?
In Dublin. Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Well, we would go there, and I would your great granddaddy would let me have his car, and he'd want me to go to the soda shop and get him a pack of cigarettes. So Peggy and I would drive down to the soda shop. And that's the way your granddaddy met Peggy. Because I would drive up to the front of the soda shop, and Peggy would run in and get the cigarettes. Now, she could buy cigarettes back then.
Wow.
She didn't have to have an ID or anything.
Really?
And so she got the cigarettes. But the next time I went in, she said,
We'll just hope that it's gone. But this is so cool. I love finding out all of this stuff. Because I didn't know parts of these stories before.
oh, really?
Can you tell the story about when you went out with the guy in his pajamas? The guy you went out with in high school, and he wore his pajamas.
Well, he had a shirt, and it looked like a pajama top. And I'm not so sure it wasn't a pajama top, But I thought he was just the best thing. So cute.
Was he popular?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so in the 7th grade, at the end of the 8th grade, we graduated from, I don't know what they called it back then. It'd be
Primary school?
It'd be like middle school
Mm-hmm.
now. And anyway, so he took me to the movies, and when he came to pick me up, I had on that pretty white dress and everything because it was my graduation day, and he had on his pajama top. But it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
And we got on the bus and went into Nashville and went to a movie.
What do you remember what you guys saw?
Hmm?
Do you remember what you saw?
I have no idea. No, I don't. I really don't.
I know. I'm the same way. I don't really remember people I see movies with. I just remember the movie or like being with the person, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's not really a social activity if you think about it. So what was your favorite subject in school?
I don't know if I had a favorite subject.
You didn't really like school. But did you do any extracurricular stuff? Weren't you like a cheerleader?
Oh yeah, that's what I did always. I was a cheerleader.
Did you like cheerleading?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
And that's why you were so upset to move, wasn't it? One of the reasons to move from Nashville? Because you had like your group of friends.
I'd already become captain of the cheerleading squad in my high school, my senior year. And I had to move off and leave all my friends and you know, my cheerleading team and all that. It was a very stressful time.
I'm sure. That's like such a big time, like in
I know.
your life, you know.
But my daddy had promised me that if I would go and spend the summer with he and mother in Dublin, that I could come back and finish school in Nashville. I could live with my sister. But I got to Dublin, and I met your granddaddy. But I had so much fun. It was entirely different from what I've been used to, a small town, you know, and in Nashville, anywhere we wanted to go, anywhere, we just got on the city bus and went. But down there were no buses, you know, you either walked or rode in a car. And so it was a fun time for me. And it was something that I really needed. And then also, we had been living sort of separated, my mother and daddy, because he was between jobs again. So he moved to Dublin before we did. And we were getting back together at that time. So that meant a lot. You want to come up here? Come on. Come on. Jump up.
Is that too much work?
It must be. Knocked the breath out of her.
Oh my goodness.
Come on. So, she just doesn't know where she is, Annabelle.
Oh. So did you ever get in trouble when you were a teenager?
I don't think so. Well, I did slip around and smoke. And
Cigarettes?
Mm-hmm.
Or pot?
No, just cigarettes. But the other girls were really afraid, but I wasn't afraid because Daddy was really understanding, and he didn't get real upset with things I did.
So you felt more comfortable to kind of do what you want and stuff like that? Did you ever do anything else? Did you have a curfew or anything Or did you just kind of come and go?
Well, it was supposed to be like 11 o'clock, but I think I never kept it. There again, that I was able to, come on, come on, come on. Can you get up here? Come on. Can you put, yeah. There you go. That's good.
She's a big girl.
Uh-huh. That's a
cute.
good girl.
Aw.
That's a good girl
Rudy.
for Mama.
Did you have chores at home?
Not really. Well, yeah, we had to wash and we had to clean up after supper.
So like dishes?
Mm-hmm. But Peggy and I had to wash the dishes, and when I washed, Peggy had to dry. But it got to the point where we fought so much that one of us had to, Daddy made one of us sit outside while the other washed, and then the other person had to come in and dry them. Because we really fussed and fought the whole time. And that's about all. Mother just did everything, you know, in the house.
So you kind of had it easy.
Mm-hmm.
So, were there any other major world events that were going on when you were young?
Well,
The Depression, had it just ended?
we were coming out of it. We were
So it was
coming
towards the end of the Depression.
into the 50s, it was getting better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, the whole time that we were poor, we didn't realize we were poor because everybody else was poor.
So it was just normal.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was kind of getting through together.
Yeah. Nobody was rich back then. And everybody's father was hardworking and everything. And most mothers were stay at home, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a whole different world back then.
What else was different?
Mm-hmm. Hmm?
So what else was different? Like what, so was it just like expected that girls would be like stay-at-home moms? And everyone was going to be stay-at-home moms?
By the time I got in high school, girls were more into the, instead of preparing for college, they went in business. Preparing for secretarial jobs and things like that. And I don't know when that changed.
Probably around your kids' time.
Well,
right?
See, in Nashville, that's what I grew up, you know, knowing that more, because I knew that my daddy couldn't afford to send me to college.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there was anything such as student loans or anything like that.
Mm.
But, and then girls back then were preparing for a way to make a living or to work and help with a living.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
And now it's like necessary, you know?
Mm-hmm.
For most.
It takes two, yeah.
It's almost impossible to do it with one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember, what was your first car that you got?
Well, let's see. I think your granddaddy bought me a car. I didn't have a car growing up or in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I used, you know, if I wanted to go somewhere, I borrowed the family car.
Mm-hmm.
We just had one car. But after we got married, we still just had the one family car. But after a while, your dad was able to buy me a small Chevrolet, and it was real cute.
What color was it?
It was a creamy yellow top and a black bottom.
That was super in at the time too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, I think it was like a 2-door.
Ooh.
And so it was really a neat little car. And so I really enjoyed it. And that's the one I had when with the children.
Mhm. When they were older.
Mm-hmm. And they were babies.
When they were
Little girls.
So, what did you do for entertainment when you were
In high school?
in well, yeah, I guess high school and like early on in motherhood.
Well, in high school, I was really into skating,
Mhm.
roller skating. And we had a nice big roller rink in Nashville called the Hippodrome. And we went there on Fridays and Saturdays, Friday nights and Saturday, and Sunday afternoons. So we did a lot of dance skating, and it was really fun, and that's where we hung out.
That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. But then once I got married and started having children, my whole life was wrapped up around my children.
Yeah. Do you remember the day that you got married?
Yeah, it was a pretty Saturday, Sunday, a sunny day, and it was the 1st of November, and in Dublin it was chilly. It was real pretty.
Were you nervous?
I was too young to be nervous.
You were
I
excited?
had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know I had no idea what I was getting into. I came from living in Nashville where the girls, back then in Nashville, the girls it was nothing for them to get married right out of high school.
Mm.
They didn't think about college or anything. And when I moved to Dublin, Dublin was, the students there were into getting ready for college. And I had beautiful grades. And the principal of the Dublin High School just was real upset that I wasn't in a college preparatory class, and I was into, business classes and things like that.
Mhm.
So he tried to change me into taking chemistry and
Ooh.
geometry and all that.
Mhm.
Because I had already finished all my algebra and I excelled in it and
Mhm.
everything, but and I was finished with the biology and histories and stuff like that, and never intended to get into chemistry. So, I think that's what threw me too when I moved there. Everybody was going to college, and I thought, well, what am I going to do? So, getting married was an escape
Mm.
in a big way,
Yeah. Well, that's always kind of what you want to do, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like, even though they were doing that,
Mm-hmm.
like, you said even before, like, that's a route that you knew you wanted to take.
Mm-hmm.
So, when did you find out that you were pregnant? How did you know?
I guess the second month I was married.
How did you know, though, that you were pregnant? Did they have, pregnancy tests like they do now?
Oh, no.
Or did
no.
you just feel it?
Yeah.
You just knew?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I hadn't done anything to keep from getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
We just took it for granted. That's what we would do, get pregnant.
Yeah.
We had nobody to guide us, or nobody guided us.
Did you like being pregnant?
To a point, yeah.
Did you get a lot of morning
And
sickness?
the thing about it, when my baby was born, I was the happiest person in the world. Oh, she was absolutely gorgeous. And I just loved being a mother. I was doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the day that my mom was born?
Oh, yes. She was the cutest baby. We lived in McRae, Georgia then. That's not too far from Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a good place to be pregnant and a good little area to have a 3 or 4 year old, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was all a good time. And then we had a little bit more money then,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to really get ready for a baby.
Mm.
And I had nice maternity clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Was my mom's pregnancy an easy pregnancy? Would you say?
Yeah, I gained, just like with the first pregnancy, I gained way too much weight. And, but it seemed like I went into false labor.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And they had to send me home from the hospital, and I wasn't ready. I wanted to have that baby. And, but anyway.
What did you think? So, did you already know that you were going to name her Nancy?
Pretty much so, yeah.
How did you come upon that name?
Well, I had talked to my mother about it, and we was talking about if I had another girl. I mean, we didn't know what we were having.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I always named my dolls Nancy.
Aww.
I always had baby dolls. And so Mama said every doll I got, I named it Nancy. So we thought it would be a good idea for me to have a baby, a little girl named Nancy. So we did.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's so sweet. So, when the day that you had her, how did you feel when you held her for the first time?
Oh, it was great. And they rolled her in the room in a little cart, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And she had all this curly hair.
Oh, she did?
Uh-huh. Real curly hair. And it was sort of red. So, and then they took her out of the cart and put her in my arms. And I knew I wasn't going to breastfeed then, because I tried it with the first one and it didn't work. Because I was real underweight.
Mm-hmm.
And hadn't taken care of myself, so, you know, there was no, I guess I took a multiple vitamin when I was pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't a candidate to breastfeed.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Some people just can't, you know?
Mm-hmm. Shortly after that, we moved. I mean, Nancy was still just an infant
Mm-hmm.
when we moved from McRae back to Dublin. And we started from there.
That's crazy. What was she like when she was a kid?
She was very cute, and she was real smart, and she did everything before the time, you know. She was like potty trained, and I always bragged about her being potty trained by 8 months.
By 8 months? No way.
Oh, I strove to.
8 months?
Yeah, I really pushed her to be a overachiever, you know, which I think she is, don't you?
She definitely is.
Uh-huh. And, and she walked around 8 months, too.
Wow, that is so early.
And then also, another thing, then Debbie, her big sister, was 4 years older.
Mm-hmm.
So she had Debbie to look up to.
Mm-hmm.
And and she always loved to get Debbie's hand-me-downs. She never resented it that I know of. And a lot of mornings, I'd already moved some of Debbie's clothes that she'd outgrown into Nancy's closet. And I'd get up in the mornings and Nancy would have one of those dresses on. It didn't make any difference that it was so big on her, you know. She was
loved it.
Oh, she was happy. She had on Bevy's dress. And that's what she wanted to wear.
My mom had She's had like cute words for a lot of stuff, didn't she? What did she call water?
Gunkle gunkle. Yeah, she had a little bit of language. Maybe by pushing her on other things that then the language pronunciations were lacking. And, you
But
know,
only for a little bit, right?
Yeah, and but the thing about it, the way she said it and all, it was cute.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we even bothered to correct it. We just let her be a kid,
Yeah.
you know, and say it like she wanted to.
Yeah. And a lot of kids have stuff like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like, we say things because we think, like, it's cute.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even, like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, we have, like, cute names. Like, you say the cute names for, like, dogs and cats and different animals that you want them. Or, like, bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of times people will just start calling it Baba.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then the kids do, too.
Well, you know what? Today I catch myself saying, one of the things that Nancy said, she couldn't say jelly, and it was always welly. I mean, now I'll say, I think I'll have some welly and toast.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's so cute.
And what else was it that she said? It was so cute. Well, Baby instead of Debbie.
What did she call Jean Jean?
Well, I think she could always say Gina. Or maybe she said Jean Jean.
Oh, she probably didn't. Jean Jean's just my name.
That's
What
you
is Jean
thought.
Jean's middle name?
Gina. Gina, that's it. She didn't have
She doesn't have a middle name either?
Well, my big idea by the time I had those two was they didn't need a middle name because when they got married, they would use their maiden name as their middle name.
It's true, though.
Well, I guess I thought that was a good idea,
Yeah.
and so I did. That's what I did.
But Deb did, right? It was
Oh,
Deborah
yeah,
Murray.
we had a nice long name, but not Deborah. Deborah Diane.
Oh, Diane. Marie. Oh, my gosh. I just think so many people have the middle name Marie. Deborah Diane.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a great name. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Pretty.
Where'd you come up with her name?
Deborah was just beginning to be a real popular name for little girls.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was about the time that Debbie Reynolds, the movie star,
Mm-hmm.
was, you know, she was popular then. When
She was really popular.
Mm-hmm.
I really like her.
And so we liked the name Debbie, but we thought we should give her the name Deborah and just call her Debbie.
Well, that's the thing. You can grow into a name too,
Mhm.
you know? Because she
Mhm.
goes by Deborah now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's more fitting for like a grown woman,
Mm-hmm.
like a little girl, you
Mhm.
know? So, what was your favorite part about being a parent?
Doing things with my kids.
Like having fun with them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My whole life was just wrapped up around them. There was a spell of time in there that, you know, I let other things get in my way, but they were still my life.
Mm-hmm. What kind of stuff did you guys do together?
Well, everything that they did, you know, we went swimming together, movies. Deb and I sewed. I think Nancy sewed too. Jean was, you know, painted and just regular stuff. They were still in the era of playing outside.
Mm-hmm.
Deb helped me inside a lot in the house.
Did you guys take family trips when they were younger? What were your favorite vacations? So you and Paul traveled a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name the places you guys traveled to?
Oh Lord, yes, all over Europe. We went to Russia, but we loved traveling in the United States too. We loved the East Coast, up in Maine and the New England states. We really loved that.
And did you guys go to Italy?
Italy, France, Holland, Switzerland, Austria, just name it.
Did you guys ever go to Egypt?
We didn't. We did not.
Is that someplace like you guys? I mean, I know that it's always kind of like hard to get there.
Well, a lot of the places, when we flew into Milan, Italy, and we got a car and we drove to Budapest, Hungary.
Really?
So some of the places along the way there, through Hungary and all that, were just little out of the way places. We loved that.
Was that your favorite trip?
One of my favorites.
What would you say is your most favorite? Or is that hard?
I loved the countryside of France. Because that's when we did all the barge trips. And so we were able to, traveling along canals. And we were able to tie up and go in and to the little towns and villages and seeing the way they lived and their lifestyle and everything. It was really, really a fine, great experience.
That's one of the places I think I'd really like to go. Because I think I would love it. Whenever I see it in films and stuff, I always just think it's so beautiful.
In Italy was wonderful. Sierra, Florence. I liked all those better than I did Rome. Rome was one of our first trips abroad, I think.
I bet that was extra special too, not having traveled before. I can't wait to travel one day.
I know, I want you to, and your granddaddy wanted you to also. He wanted to travel with you.
I know. I wish we'd been able to.
He made a couple of trips with Nancy. We went to Scotland, and then Gina and Nancy went with us to Ireland, and that was good. That was good. We did trips to Acapulco, Mexico, with Debbie and her friend, and then I guess we all went together one time.
All of y'all? Wow. So, what are your favorite things to do now?
Well, until I got into the shape I'm in now with my foot and my knees, having trouble walking. Well, I love to hang out with friends, and I love playing cards. I did love my church work. I've sort of gotten away from that. Your granddaddy and I that was our thing. We built the church, helped build the church, and we did that together, and that was probably some of the best times of our life. And so I didn't enjoy it as much after he died. But just friends here in my neighborhood, movies, things like that, and doing things with you. Oh, well, see, you're leaving out a big chunk when we got our first grandchild, our only grandchild. I mean, that took over our life. So it was, that was very, very special. It was special to me and to your granddaddy, because he had been so busy trying to make a living and trying to get ahead. And the more he made, the more he wanted to make. So he was driven. And he didn't take the time or didn't feel he had the time to enjoy his children as much as he did with you, you know?
Yeah.
And he was so blessed to have that opportunity. You were almost like a comeback kid. We thoroughly enjoyed the things we did with you.
Yeah. I can see that too, looking back at the videos.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny to see one of the first ones, like when I first, I wasn't even adopted at that point. I could tell because I was so young. And I think Jean was videotaping, and I was trying to get on the dishwasher. And he was like, "Now don't you do that." He's like, "No." And he pulled me over a couple times. And he was like, "You cannot do that." And I was like, and Jean was like, "You don't even know the half of it, kid. You think that's bad." And then you were like, "Oh, my little baby. It's okay." It was so cute. I love that one though.
But he had
Because it was because it grew, I think, as he spent more time and, I remember
Well, I think
crawling on the floor and he was would try to tickle me and
yeah.
he would be on the floor too.
Well, the older we got, the more patience we had.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, with your children, the father was making the living, and the mothers were doing everything else they needed to do in the home to raise the kids. And we were more into your education, the education of our children, and everything.
So
by the time we had a grandchild, it was really very nice.
well, it was good for me too. It was good to be a grandchild, and I always felt the love from you guys, and you guys were always there for me, even during the hardest times. I always called you guys, and y'all were there for me. And I'll never forget that. And we did so many fun things together, and I'll never forget our Disney cruise.
Oh yeah, see there, that was a very fun time.
Mm-hmm.
You and I enjoyed it immensely.
Pawpaw didn't enjoy it the whole time.
he thought if he was on a cruise, he ought to take a lot of naps. Well, we thought if you're on a cruise, you got to do what everybody else is doing,
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah. Well, I remember one time we went to go see that movie, and he was in the mood about something.
I know.
I don't even remember what he was upset about, but
I don't
we
know.
went to go see Dinosaur, that movie. And I just love it. I still tell people, I'm like, you've got to take your kids on a Disney cruise. It's such a great experience.
Oh, yeah.
And, so much fun. When we went to the Bahamas, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a friend, Maddie, and she just went on the Disney cruise with her family.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, I'm sure it's still fun, but I feel like it's more fun with a kid, instead of college students.
Oh, yeah. Well, we enjoyed your mother and I enjoyed our trips to Disney with you.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I know, I love
Gina went with us too, so that was wonderful.
I think we have videos of that too, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just a couple more things. So what did you do to get through the difficult times in life?
I probably didn't pray enough, for sure. Do you want me to tell the truth?
Yeah.
Well, somewhere along there, your granddaddy and I started drinking way too much. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it escalated. It got out of hand, and I guess we fell back on. Either we toasted everything with a drink, or either we cried everything with a drink. But anyway, that was a very difficult time. And I think it caused us a lot of problems that were not necessary. I think it had been different. But then again, I feel like that And we didn't plan it to be that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I don't think anyone does. You know, it's never an intentional thing.
Your granddaddy was in a business where all businesses were handled with drinks, going out and have drink.
And it's still that way in so many businesses, you know.
So it was really coming along about that time. So, and he traveled, and he dealt with a lot of oil companies, and the oil business was wrapped up in drinking. Big drinkers.
Okay, this is my favorite question. What is your favorite thing about being a grandma?
Oh my God.
Specifically a grand.
Okay. Oh. I don't know. It's just, it was so, it wasn't, you didn't depend on me doing all the things I did for my children that I felt I had to do. And with you, I didn't feel I had to do it. You had your mama, and so I could be more relaxed with you. So therefore, I really took advantage of it and enjoyed it a lot more. I loved talking about you. I loved being with you. I loved the things that we did, and the silliness, laughing, and just watching you grow up. All of it was just, I just can't say how special it was. It was so very special.
It was special for
But
me too.
And you're still so special. I just don't know what I'd do without you. It means so much.
Well, you'll never have to know.
It means so much to me that you wanted to be sure and see me before my birthday.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
You wanted to be sure I had a birthday cake.
Yeah. Well, I'll just never forget that one year where you said, well, I guess I'll get my own birthday cake. And then you didn't have a birthday cake that year. And that just made me so sad. And I think about that every year, that there was a year that you didn't even have a birthday cake.
Well, I love birthday cakes.
And you love birthday cakes.
Uh-huh.
And you love to be celebrated.
You
deserve to
not
be
my
celebrated.
birthday. I love a birthday cake.
Me too. But I just you should always have a birthday cake, You deserve that. And you deserve to be celebrated every year.
Well, and you have always made sure that I had a birthday party, a celebration.
Because you deserve it.
Yeah.
You should. So are you excited to have great-grandchildren someday?
Oh, I am.
Do you have any hopes for them?
A boy.
Or for me?
A boy. Well, I wouldn't mind having a grandson, a great-grandson. But I want a great-granddaughter too. But I'll take whatever.
You'll take whatever.
I'll take whatever y'all give me.
A boy. Oh my gosh.
Would he have to play football?
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't play football. He's going to be like
you know
you.
what? When you have children, you want your children to have and to do more than you did.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times we ran ourselves ragged, making sure our children had more than we had growing up.
Yeah. So is there something you hope for us? For me and Stefan? What do you hope for us?
Oh, that you continue loving each other and that your love grows for each other. That you grow together. Be considerate of one another. Be kind to each other. Listen to one another. And allow each other to express, their own opinions and their. I just pray that you have a real good life together, always.
Is there anything you hope for your children? For Jean and my mama and Deb?
Well, I hope that they have a very, very happy life. I'm proud that Debbie and Michael have each other and they have a good life, and they seem very happy, and I'm proud of that. And Nancy, I'm happy for her that she has you, and she's happy that you're married, and y'all have an extended family now, and and with Gina, I stay concerned about her and her health, but I love the fact that she's able to have an interest in the clinic and be involved in that, and how she's been fortunate enough to be involved and have that. So all in all, I think it's very good.
So what do you want to be remembered for?
Well, I don't want to be I don't want to be remembered for the mistakes I made. Just remember that I love life. I love my family.
You were a great grandma.
And yeah, I was a good grandmother, and being remembered for being a good grandmother. I would love to be remembered for being a good mother, but I don't know about that.
Is there anything else?
That's it.
And a good and a good dog mom too, right?
Yeah, I love all our I love our little fur babies.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
means a lot.
Okay. And favorite color?
I've bounced around and around with that, but right now I ended up liking blue.
Okay. Favorite flower? I know, I'm like, I love them all, really.
Me too. Rose hibiscus? No, not hibiscus. What is it? The big round. Well, I can't think of. What is that?
Hydrangeas?
Hydrangeas, yes. Really like that.
Those look like Annabelle. Those look like Annabelle hydrangeas. Favorite song?
All is well with my soul.
And what was your wedding song?
They
Wasn't it I in love with you?
tried to tell us we were too young.
Is that really it?
It was really popular when we were getting married.
Oh my gosh. I've never heard that song. I'm going to have to go listen to it on our way home. Favorite food?
Food?
Yeah.
Fried chicken and country vegetables.
Country vegetables. Wink.
Well, but how about chocolate cake?
Ooh. That's a good favorite dessert, right? Favorite pet?
Oh, my little Trudy.
Of course. You can't have a different answer than that. And last one. What makes you happy?
You. My time with Gina. She always makes me happy. I would like to spend more time with Nancy and Debbie, and I feel like that one day will come about, so I don't push it. And but I think my love for the Lord, just knowing that I can trust and He'll take care of me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this for me.
You're welcome.
It's been amazing. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Well, good.
It's so cool to hear all of the stories, you know?
Well, there's a lot more.
I know. Well, I want to hear more, you know?
Uh-huh.
We'll have to have part 2.
Oh, God.
Next birthday.
Next birthday.
Part 2,
Well-
next birthday.
Every.
And maybe I'll have makeup on the next time.
Oh my gosh, you have makeup on now. You really do look so pretty. Your skin just is glowing.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Are you pregnant?
No,
Are you sure?
I don't think so. I haven't been exposed.
You haven't been. Promise?
Promise.